Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of Reading Layamon's Brut. When we left off last time, Membrit, the evil king who betrayed and murdered his brother, had gone hunting in the forest and was separated from his companions and set upon by wolves. We pick up today immediately after his demise at line 1305. En a sunne he havde, beselven his quene, there was he had an ebrauk, adelist alra kingen, de ever schulde halden land, other bewitten lerde. Al his kun he wortede, richen and rechen. De richen he lette bern stille, de rechen hefden hier wille. Dat land he lette tiljen, him tuen hired men to. Blisse was on lande, a fele kunne thinge. He held swithe goat greith, ne break na man his frith. Knichtes he havde gode, stronger and wode. He wilde den after war, for him was here a drichten wroth. He, Membrit, the king who was just eaten by wolves, had a son by his queen herself, by his very queen. A son who was called Ebrauk, the noblest of all kings who should ever hold land or protect a people. All his kin, and I take this to be used in its broader sense here, referring to his people rather than just his relations, so all his people he honoured, and this strikes an immediate contrast between Ebrauk and his father Membrit, who we were told hated all his kin. Not so Ebrauk. Ebrauk honoured all his kin, both the rich and the poor. The rich he let be peacefully, so he let them exist in peace, unlike his father, and the poor had their will, so they had what they wanted or what they needed under Ebrauk's reign, and again, in contrast with his father Membrit. This looks like the feminine singular or the plural pronoun. However, given that the verb form appears to be singular and we do still seem to be talking about Ebrauk, I'm going to hazard that this is a scribal error and that it is meant to be he, so he, no O on the end. He, referring to Ebrauk, caused that land to be tilled. Household men, or perhaps more broadly just servants, came to him. So he's such a good king that people are rallying around him. Joy was in the land in many sorts of things, many different matters. Once again, I think this is probably a scribal error, and we're still talking about Ebrauk, so he held a very good truce, very good peace. No man broke his peace. He had good, strong, and fierce knights. They wished after war. Because of them, their lord, meaning their god, was angry. The king hit well wuster, the he hit sudgen ne durste. He lette be se flod, de jerkien shippen god. Umben an a stunde, the shippen jaru wiren. And he doede therein his drichtliche knietes, and sende hem into France, mit muchelere verde, and he hergeden France, and verder bejenden, and alle the landes that thereto leien. Muchel was the gersum, the he hevden in om, and kummen eft hieder ham, ali sund and die hal. This was the erste king, the verde ut ravinge, that oversee winde out of this lande. The king knew it well, though he did not dare say it, so presumably that their god was angry with them because of their desire to go out looking for conflict. He, the king Ebrauk, caused by or upon the sea flood good ships to be made ready. About a time, so after a time, the ships were ready, and he put therein his lordly knights, and sent them into France with a great army. And they harried or raided France, and far throughout there, so all throughout France, and all the lands that lay thereto, so all the lands around France that are subject to it. Great was the treasure which they had taken, and they came back home here all sound and whole, so safe and sound. This was the first king who went out to go raiding, the first king that went over the sea, out of this land, out of Britain. Swithe longe thereafter was all this lairdish folk unimette riche of their ravinge. There kom he to mode, Ebraug thon gode, that he wilde bulden, twa burg stronge. He nom his folk and ferde forth and drog him richtes north, althas half Skotlande, there he wilde at stonde. Erst he makede an a burg, and kair Ebraug her klepede. The other on Aradune, adud he her hachte. There here was he kleped kair Ebraug, sethen was he kleped Eborag. For a very long time thereafter, all the peopleish people, all the British people in this case, was incredibly rich because of their raiding, as a result of their raiding. Then it came to the mind, to Ebrauk the Good, that he wished to build 2 strong cities. He took his people, and he went forth, and Drew himself went straight north. On this side of Scotland, there he wished to remain, or where he wished to remain. First, he made one city, and called her, but in this case it, we translate it as it, Caer Ebrauk, or Caer Ebrauk. Caer, I think we've had occasion to mention before, is the Welsh word for a fort, so Fort Ebrauk. The other, on a hill, he called it Adud. Then, so in those days, at that time, it was called Caer Ebrauk. Afterwards, it was called Eberak. Sethen komen unkuthe men, en effer which her hachten. An de northerne men nis hit nawicht year, thurch an unthiu, York her I hachten. There ferde the king noter ma, and an a new burg makede, upon Agnetes mont, Merlit Shefire. Maidene castel he was I kleped, natich for Juan it was swaidon. Ebrauk levede swithe longe, and Lond held mid menske. 60 winter he was king, I Grete he held his kinelond. Afterwards, unknown or foreign men came, and they called it Efferwich, and it is not very well, it is not at all long ago, the northern men, through a bad habit or a bad custom, called it York. Then the king went more northern, so even further north, and made a new city upon Agnet's Mount, incredibly fair or beautiful. It was called the Castle of the Maidens. I do not know for why it was so done. I don't know why it got that name. Ebrauk lived very long and held his land with honour. 60 winters he was king, in peace he held his kingdom. Ach he hefde money weef, the his kun of a wetchede. He hefde on lieve 20 sonnen, and alch hefde sundri moder. He was 30 dochtrenne vader, de wiefmen weren fire. Of his sonnen herkne the nomen, and each her de wullen nemnen. Brutus vart Escot, Margadud, Cecilvius, Regin, Bladud, Morvit, Lagon, Ebedloen, Rikar, Spaden, Gaul, Pardan, Aldud, Gangu, Kerin, Luor, Ruk, Asarak, Buel, Hector. Theirs weren Ebraukes sonnen, des Artheles kinges. But he had many wives, from whom his kin, and in this sense specifically his descendants, or his children, this is the word awake, so they awoke, but in this sense they came into existence rather than woke up. He had in life 20 sons, and each had a different mother. He was the father of 30 daughters. The women were beautiful. Hearken or hear the names of his sons, and I will name them to you. Brutus vert Escut, I'll just single him out for mention because this part of his name, vert Escut, this is from Wasa, where the ash is an E and there's no T on the end, so it's just Anglo-Norman for green shield, and that's his name in Geoffrey of Monmouth as well, Brutus Greenshield. These were the sons of Ebrauc, the noble king. His dochter nomen Herknenu, the hech waren I borene. The eldeste was I haten Gloigin, Okidas, Ofrar, Ignogen, Guardid, Radan, Gwendlian, Angarad, Gwenboden, Methelan, Malur, Ekub, Zangustel, Skadud, Cambreda, Methahel, Gats, Etchem, Nest, Gurgon, Wiladus, Ebran, Blangru, Egron, Bedra, Abalak, Enges, Andor, Skadiald, Gallowes. Efter thissere Gallowes, Wales was I namned. Gallowes was fairest of alle than Uthran, levest than kinge of than susteren, and of than brotheren. Hearken now his daughters' names, who were high-born. The eldest was called Gloigin, and I'll just leave the others for now, except for this last one, Gallowes. After this Gallowes, Wales was named. Gallowes was the most beautiful of all the others, the dearest to the king of the sisters and of the brothers. She is his favourite child. And another was Alra besti Toen, hire tuchtlin wieren god. Gloigin hechte the Alra elduste, there was durch alle thing the otherleste. Alle hier wieren well behede. The king of Lombardy, Silvius, he was here next to Kunismon. Richelice he nom his sonde, and sende to Ebrauc, king of this lande. This looks like the word another. It seems to be a scribal error in reference to this daughter here, Andor. So, and Andor was the best brought up of all, the best educated. Her manners were good. The eldest of all of them was called Gloigin. She was, through all things, so on all accounts, the noblest. They were all well fostered or well bred. The king of Lombardy, Silvius, he was their nearest kinsman. He powerfully, or perhaps royally, took his messenger, probably royally, I suspect this is Richelice in the older sense of Riche meaning kingdom, so in a kingly fashion he took his messenger and sent to Ebrauc, king of this land, and bad hine senden him alle his dochteren, and he hem wilde jeven richen his monnen, sweeter riche knichten of troinische kunnen, thou wieren in Lombardy of Herestrund, thach stremes hem to Daleden. And the weefmen of Lombardy wieren hem sweeter lather. For thee the king sende after this meidenen, to jeven his riche monnen, swahe dure, and thus it was Lombardisch volk des. He, King Silvius, bade him, King Ebrauc, send to him all his daughters, and he would give them to his rich or powerful men, very rich or, again, great, powerful knights of the Trojan line, of the Trojan people. They were in Lombardy from there, the British lineage, so they are both from Trojan lineage, even though streams or waters divided or separated them. And the women of Lombardy were very hateful to them. Therefore the king sent after these maidens to give to his rich men. So he did, as in Ebrauc did. So Ebrauc complied with this request, and thus it was. This was woe to the people of Lombardy. There havde the king Silvius his wile, and Lombardy he walde, and all his troinisch kunne tuchten to himselven. Summe the brethren Ebraucus sonnen kommen thither mit her susteren. He beheten wepnen, he beheten schipen, he beheten men, de hem kuthen wieten. He senden over al than erde to beheten muchele verde. There kommen des Knechtes out of Bretagne, verden of Lombardie to Layamon. Then the king Silvius had his will, and he ruled Lombardy, and all his Trojan kin went to himself, so they rallied around him to serve him. Some of the brothers, the sons of Ebrauc, came thither with their sisters. They obtained weapons, they obtained ships, they obtained men who could or knew how to protect them. They sent over all the land to obtain a great army. Then the knights came out of Britain. They went from Lombardy to Layamon into Germany. Asarag he kom out of this an erd, his brotheren hine klepeden her laverd, her ferden mid jepschippe, and mid wisdome, swa longer that her to Layamon kommen. Muchele castles her begunnen, her sluen, her barnden, and that land bewonnen. Ebrauc her father held this land 60 winter, he was her king. He havde her his eldest son I holden mit himselven. His name was well wiederkode. He hecht Brutus vart escod. 12 year he held this kinaland, serven his father his beloved. Asarach, so this is one of the sons of Brutus, who came, not of Brutus, one of the brothers of Brutus Greenshield, one of the sons of Ebrauc. Asarach, who came out of this land, his brothers called him their lord. He went with cunning and with wisdom, so far that they came to Layamon, to Germany. So they set upon great castles, they slew, they burned, and they conquered that land. Ebrauc, their father, held this land, Britain. For 60 winters he was their king. He had here his eldest son, held with himself, so they are joint rulers. His son, so the name of this eldest son, was very widely known. He was called Brutus vart escod, or Brutus Greenshield. 12 years he held this kingdom after his father left it, so after his father died. And that's where we will leave off today. We do have some interesting things coming up next time, so please do stay tuned. And as ever, if you have any thoughts, any comments, questions, or corrections, please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can do that either below in the YouTube comment section or on the Facebook page for the video series, and you can find the link to that page in the video description. Thank you very much for listening. All the best, and I'll see you next time.